Part 126. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 1251. Chapter 1251. This woman is really shameless. But I'm really curious, why are you so scared? There is a saying that you don't do anything bad, don't be afraid of ghosts knocking on the door. If you look like that, if you don't know, then you will think you have done something bad. If you do, what kind of shame can you be so afraid of? If possible, then Sun Yan really wants to tear this woman's mouth apart right now. This woman is really shameless. She actually spoke to herself like this in front of Huo Linyuan. But Sun Yan still had some brains and knew what to do now, so she said with a grieved face, "Miss Sun, why do you have such an idea? I can do something, I'm just a little scared, shouldn't it be okay to be afraid? You must know that I have been timid since I was a child. I have never experienced any so-called big storms. It is normal to have never seen such a situation. But Miss Sun, why can you definitely say that I have done something wrong? Are you the same kind of person that makes you like this? If you are really like this, then you have to tell me what I will see." Lin Na raised her eyebrows slightly. This Sun Yan, after saying this, I feel like this guy has some skills. Could it be that this woman's skills are all used in fighting for men? When Lin Na realized this, now that she was looking at Sun Yan, she really felt that it was indeed like that. Hey, this person. Really? Huo Xiao, I really haven't done anything so-called bad. I'm really scared. I haven't encountered anything like this. I'm a little scared. Can you protect me? I'm really. However, after Sun Yan said these words, she did not get Huo Linyuan's gaze. Huo Linyuan's eyes were always on Lin Na. Such a situation really made Sun Yan curse in her heart. Really? At this moment, Lin Na's voice rang out, "If I guessed correctly, then Miss Sun must be feeling very uncomfortable and scared now. Mr. Huo, you must coax Miss Sun well. After all, she has experienced so much. If that's the case, then I won't disturb you anymore." After saying that, Lin Na left directly. Huo Linyuan and Sun Yan didn't even have time to react. Sun Yan finally felt relieved. However, when he saw Huo Linyuan's eyes still following Lin Na, he began to curse in his heart that this Lin Na was really not an ordinary scheming person. He used retreat to advance, so that Huo Linyuan would never forget it. Sun Yan felt that she couldn't do this. He cleared his voice and planned to continue speaking in a pitiful tone. But before Sun Yan could speak this time, she heard Huo Linyuan's voice, "Tell me what happened tonight in detail. What did Lin Na do and how did she do it? Tell me carefully." These words made Sun Yan slightly stunned. Huo Linyuan didn't hear what he wanted to hear, so he turned to look at Sun Yan. Seeing Sun Yan's dazed eyes, Huo Linyuan frowned. What is going on with this Sun Yan? Why do I feel that the Sun Yan is going to fall off the chain again? Just when Huo Linyuan couldn't help but speak again, Sun Yan finally spoke and told everything she saw today. Sun Yan was really excited. She knew that Huo Linyuan was definitely not a simple person. Why couldn't she see Lin Na's little plan? End of this chapter. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 1252. Chapter 1252. When you are unlucky, your teeth will get clogged even if you drink cold water. And the other side. Inside the ward. Sun Ying'er looked at Sunian. "You still look so bad. You still need to have a good rest. Do everything outside according to your wishes. I will definitely do it well. As a sister, I can't be too useless. Well, if I am really such a loser, how will others laugh at me if my reputation spreads?" Sunian, who looked weak, smiled when he heard this. "Sister, What are you talking about? I'm just so unlucky. To be honest, instead of teaching me a lesson here, you might as well help me check it out. Check, the nearby temple is more spiritual, so I will go and pray properly. I can't be too unlucky. If I am too unlucky, I really can't live my life anymore. You are just talking nonsense here. Don't rely on your poverty. You know we are really going to be scared to death. Just in case. When Sun Ying said this, she realized that she said something she shouldn't have said, and her face changed instantly. Sunian was also speechless. She never dreamed that she would be allergic to something thrown by Sun Yan. That's right, it's allergies. Hate vomiting caused by allergies. It's really a bit nonsense. I never thought that I would be allergic, and who knew that I would be allergic to that medicine? I didn't know at all. Don't you know that my body is very good? I rarely have any so-called illnesses. I rarely get sick, but in this situation, I'm so unlucky. When Sunian said this, he started to look up to the sky and roar. But at this moment, an indifferent voice sounded next to her. You are still coaxing us when you say this. Your body is such an important matter, and you have no so-called attitude at all. The person who spoke was none other than Li Baikan. Sunian looked at Li Baikan. He made a helpless expression. Such a helpless expression really made Li Baikan's heart soften. In fact, Li Baikan really agreed with what Sunian said just now. He should indeed find a temple to worship properly. Fortunately, it was just a simple allergy and not something else. If it were something else. When he thought of this, Li Baikan was a little scared, and then he held Sunian's hand. I think this kind of thing should be prevented, and we must not let this happen, so I think we should take this opportunity to ask the doctor take a good check to see how many allergens Nianyan's body has, so that we can pay close attention to it in the future. When Sun Ying heard this, she thought this was a good idea. Baikan, your idea is better. Yes, take this opportunity to give Nian a good checkup. This situation cannot happen again. It must never happen again. If this happens, if it happens again. When Sun Ying said this, she really felt a little dizzy, really a little dizzy. How can you say it? These things cannot be said. On the other side, Li Baikan thought more deeply. He felt that this incident showed that the world was still a bit unreliable, and any so-called things would happen. Therefore, Huo Linyuan and the so-called Lanmin were still a bit dangerous, and they had to be careful. When he thought of this, Li Baikan held Sunian's hand tightly. No matter what the so-called plot is or what the so-called arrangement of God is, he will never admit defeat like this. He must prove it to the world. Their fate is in their own hands. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich John Word. Chapter 1253. Chapter 1253. Our son is sensible. After Sun Ying left, Sunian put his eyes on Li Baikan's face. If I guessed correctly, he would definitely lecture me this time. He would definitely lecture me like my father, saying that I must be careful, and so on. Humming like this really made Li Baikan not know what to say. With Sunian like this, even if he was really angry, how could he be angry when he saw her like this? He immediately reached out and hugged Sunian. It was really my mistake this time. I won't let something like this happen again. I really won't let it happen. He felt that he could not be fooled by the beauty in front of him. You must move forward unswervingly. The curse of this world must be broken. Hey, why are you saying this again? Who could have known that this Sun Yan would throw things at me that could make me allergic? I don't even think that the Sun Yan knew that I was allergic to this thing. This was just a mistake. Things, hey, why am I so unlucky? I am really unlucky. I have never been so unlucky in my life. I even think that if such a thing were to spread, I would definitely die laughing. When Lee Baiken saw Sunian looking so troubled, he hugged her tightly. So what I just said is serious. We must know your physical condition. You look like this, it really scares me dead, I really thought. Okay, okay, I listen to you. I listen to you, husband. I do what you want, husband. Husband, I will do whatever you ask me to do. I will definitely be obedient, absolutely obedient. Looking at Sunian being so lively, Lee Baiken's heart really softened. Suddenly I felt that everything was worth it. I am responsible for everything outside, and I will definitely solve it well. Seeing Lee Baiken like this, Sunian really felt indescribably relieved, but peace of mind was peace of mind. But when it came to this, Sunian thought something very important comes up. By the way, I'm in the hospital these days. Does Mo Bao know? How is Mo Bao? Is he okay? Is he crying? Is he making trouble? Is he feeling uncomfortable? When Lee Baiken heard this, he remembered that he didn't seem to notice Mo Bao in the past few days. The key point is that Sunian's matter is a bit too big. As soon as something happened to Sunian, he was completely panicked. It could even be said that he was completely panicked. That's why Sunian said this. Lee Baiken is still a little guilty, but a guilty conscience is a guilty conscience. He still knows that he can't tell the truth, and he absolutely can't tell the truth. If he really tells the truth, then Sunian will definitely be worried. Sunian's current body is not good at all. Well, if Sunian is worried again, it will be even worse. That's right, it will be even worse. Ahem, cough, cough, it's definitely not because of a guilty conscience. So Lee Baiken said, don't worry, I told that brat that you and your sister have something very important and need to go out of town, and he believed it. Do you really believe it? Lee Baiken continued to say seriously, of course I really believe it. Don't you know how sensible our son is? As soon as I told him that you and your sister had something important to do, after hearing this, he even called me. I won't even call you, for fear of delaying your work. End of this chapter. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 1254. Chapter 1254. These words really made Sunian's heart melt. My Mo Bao is still smart. My Mo Bao is really too sensible. I even feel that there will be no smarter or better child than Mo Bao in this world. This child is simply too good. It's really not in vain that I have thought of so many ways to make this child a brat. If I had to repeat this novel over again, I would definitely try my best to give birth to this Mo Bao again. Even if I have to suffer the pain of pregnancy again, I would be willing to do so. I am really willing to do so. Hearing such thoughts, Lee Baiken still felt a little jealous. But what's the use of being jealous? He also knew that now was not the time to be jealous. You must handle the current affairs well. You just take good care of yourself, I'll take care of this. But when Sunian heard this, he shook his head. I don't think I can hide here to take care of myself this time. When Lee Baiken heard this, his expression immediately changed. Sunian laughed when he saw Lee Baiken's expression changing so quickly, and then put his hand on his face. And gently slide your hand on his face. Hey, what's going on with you? Why does your face change so quickly? I'm a little suspicious of your face changing so fast. I wonder if you are secretly learning Sichuan opera behind my back. You shouldn't be. You and I can even be said to be together every day. If you really go behind my back to learn Sichuan opera, then I will definitely know it as soon as possible. Why don't I know what is going on? Please explain it to me carefully. Tell me what is going on. However, Facing Sunian's jokes, Li Baikan's face was still serious. He was even rare and serious, and Sunian was not used to it. Sunianze saw this expression and knew that Li Baikan was serious. He couldn't continue such jokes and needed to speak seriously. I think that we were like this before, hiding when we were hurt, and hiding when we were hurt. If we do this again, then how will the other side see me and how will Huo Linyuan see us? I don't even think Huo Linyuan will take us into consideration, so I think we have to change our tactics. I don't need Huo Linyuan to think highly of me. I have never thought this was a problem. In my heart, your body is the most important. We have been together for so long. Why don't you understand? This is my bottom line. I don't know why, but when Sunian heard the words "this is my bottom line," Sunian's heart was really moved. That kind of heartbeat is really indescribable. The kind that strikes deep into the soul. In an instant, Sunian didn't know what to say. But just when Sunian didn't know what to say, Li Baikan reached out and tapped Sunian on the head. I'm talking to you, have you taken my words to heart? I'm very serious when you speak, you must listen carefully. You must know that you are not alone, but there are many people behind you. If something happens to you, many people will feel sorry for you, and you must take good care of yourself. Think about it. When Sunian heard this, he thought of himself in his previous life. In my previous life, it seemed like there was no one standing behind me who cared about me, no one. When thinking of this, Sunian reached out and hugged Li Baikan. I know what you said. I will definitely take good care of my body and won't worry you. End of this chapter. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 1255. Chapter 1255. Mo Bao is so cute and spicy. Mo Bao has been very anxious these days. Can't see parents. No news at all. At the beginning, Mo Bao just thought it must be his father and secretly abducted his mother in order to compete for his mother's status. I didn't really care about it at first. But as time passed gradually, Mo Bao gradually began to feel uneasy. This family feels a little depressed. Mo Bao was really a little anxious now, but at the same time, he began to blame God in his heart for not allowing himself to be reborn at 6 or 7 years old. Even if he was 5 or 6 years old, it would be better than the current situation. Mo Bao's uneasy state was also discovered by the servant. Then Mo Bao saw Josu. When he saw Josu, Mo Bao suddenly became uneasy. After all, Josu has been with his mother all his life. Why is he here now? Has something happened? However, Mo Bao knew very well that he was a bit too young now. If he made jokes or made trouble, Josu would definitely not take it seriously, and would even make up some childish words to comfort him. So I absolutely cannot do this. Must be calculated well. Josu came to Mo Bao with a gentle face. Master, what's wrong with you? If you are unhappy, tell your uncle. If you want something, you can also tell your uncle. Your uncle will definitely satisfy you of. Josu's mission here is to coax this child well. Let the child not feel sad. For Josu, this is simply a trivial matter. However, he didn't expect that when Josu finished saying this, he saw Mo Bao's big tearful eyes. Such big eyes really made Josu's heart skip a beat. Josu has always felt that he is a straight man, a man who does not understand the charm. For this reason, although he is the chief secretary next to Li Baikan, and even in the Li group, where one person is less than 10,000 people, but still single. But when he saw this child, Josu felt a little cute. Wow, this big-eyed cute baby is so cute. Mr. Li and his wife are indeed not simple people, and neither are their children. It's simply too cute. Even Josu wanted to take action directly and reach out to pinch the little face of the boy in front of him. It's really a bit too cute. I have never seen such a cute child. Uncle, where are my parents? I want my mother. I haven't seen my mother for a long time. Can you tell me where my mother is? After Bao said this, he looked at Josu intently. The purpose is not to miss Josu's expression. Sure enough, he saw what he least wanted to see. When he finished speaking, Josu's body visibly stiffened, and he looked like he was thinking. In this case, something happened to his mother, so he wanted to comfort himself. That's right. What happened to my mother? Did Huo Linyuan take action? That's right. Mom has been so powerful in her life. She got the so-called heroine Lan Ren into her. How could the hero Huo Linyuan not do something? Damn it, Huo Linyuan. I should have made his life worse than death in my previous life. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 1256. Chapter 1256 Josu's Lies. Josu was really hesitant whether he should tell Bao about Sunian's current situation. Sunian's situation is getting better now, so it's okay to tell Bao about the current situation. But look at the looks of Sunian and Mr. Li. It seems like there is something more to be done. If you really want to do something, then what if Bao appears? What if Huo Linyuan becomes crazy and attacks Bao? So he thought it was better not to let Bao appear in everyone's sight. After such an idea appeared, Josu said gently, "Master, you are the most well-behaved. Your mother and father have very important things to do, so they can't stay with you. You must be good at home. If you are good, then your mother will definitely be very happy when she comes back. Why hasn't my mother come to see me for so long? Why doesn't she like me anymore? What on earth did I do? Why doesn't she like me? What did I do?" As Bao said this, he began to wipe his tears with his hands. It really looks as pitiful as you want it to be. Such a situation really made Josu's heart melt. Little master, don't cry, don't cry. It's not that your mother doesn't like you. Why do you think so? Your mother likes you the most in the world. How could she not like you? Josu just coaxed him in quickly. But Bao was not convinced at all. "You are lying, uncle, how can you lie to people? You are really a bit too much. How can you lie to children? What on earth did I do? I followed my father's instructions. It comes from my request, study every day, learn to write every day. Isn't it better to do this? Uncle Joe, please tell me what I need to do well. Tell me, and I will definitely change it. I want my mother. You can tell me, no matter what I do, I will definitely do it. Will change." Josu has grown up watching Bao, but he has never seen Bao like this. So Bao's appearance really made Josu a little at a loss. But at this moment, Josu suddenly had an idea and thought of a way. He then reached out to hold Bao in his arms and said, "Hey, since you said so, I won't lie to you. Please tell the truth." Hearing this, Bao stopped crying and stared at Josu, looking like he wanted to see what Josu could say. Then Josu said with a mysterious look, "That's right, your father, Mr. Li, wanted to have a sister with your mother, like your mother's sister, so he took your mother to honeymoon. Young master, just be good at home, be good, maybe you will have a sister in a few days." Bao. This is a really good excuse. Excellent. If Bao had no memory of his previous life and was just a simple child under 2 years old, then Bao would definitely believe it. But Bao is not. He doesn't know about other people. but his father regretted it every day when his mother was in confinement. He even felt that if possible, his father would not want him to be born. Such a father would also give birth to a sister. I will never give birth to a younger sister. But what does Josu say about this? The only explanation is that something must have happened to my mother. Something serious must have happened. When he realized this, Bao became even more anxious. Uncle, I don't want a sister, I want a mother. Can you tell my mother? I just want to see my mother. I really want to see her. If you want to see your mother, uncle, you just need to let me see my mother. I will definitely behave, I will definitely behave. End of this chapter. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 1257. Chapter 1257. Josu was a little dumbfounded. Such a situation really made Josu a little dumbfounded. Why not? Why? Why doesn't this method work? When Josu was surfing the internet, he saw that the little boy wanted his sister the most. Why is this different from the internet? What exactly went wrong? Just when Josu was confused. Does mom really not want me anymore? Why doesn't mom want me? What on earth did I do? Woo woo, what did I seem to have done? Woo woo. As he spoke, Bao began to cry loudly. You must know that Josu has never seen Bao cry like this. Even in Josu's eyes, Bao is the most obedient child in the world. This situation really caught Josu off guard. Young master, don't cry. Don't cry. Your mother doesn't want you. She really doesn't want you. Really, your mother loves you the most. How could I not want you? Don't cry, really don't cry. But Bao still had no intention of stopping. Not only did he have no intention of stopping. Instead, it has the meaning of becoming more and more excessive. Such a situation really made Josu feel a little at a loss. You must know, when Josu received the task from Lee Baikan, he was so sure that he was thinking, this Bao is obedient, this child is super good, and this task is completely simple. But what else can Josu do? You can only continue to coax. Under such circumstances, Josu took a long time to coax him. It really made Josu feel a little tired. Josu took advantage of Bao to fall asleep, secretly came to an angle, and then called Lee Baikan. Wait until the call is answered. Josu immediately told the matter. Lee Baikan over there frowned when he heard this. Is Bao so troublesome? He is usually very obedient, and this has never happened before. Maybe it's because my wife hasn't appeared for such a long time. The young master has never been away from his parents for such a long time since he was born. Even if his wife is not here, Mr. Lee, you are still with her, so what should we do now? Stay calm for a while, Bao is very obedient. How is my wife's current physical condition? How about I take the young master with me? The hospital is still a bit unhygienic, and he is a bit too young. It's better not to come here. Just try your best to coax him, and we will go back as soon as possible. Josu really feels a little dizzy now. Even the hospital is not clean. Children should not go there and forget about it. Yes, I understand. Lee Baikan's serious voice sounded. Although Bao is a bit petty, he is very obedient and sensible. If you be patient, you should be able to coax him. If you really can't coax him, then you call me. I'll go back. Josu thought this way before, but the current situation is really a bit of a headache. This child is really hard to coax. But after Josu hung up the phone, he suddenly lost his composure. Why is this happening? Because Bao was standing in front of him. When was this child here? Wasn't he sleeping? Why don't you sleep? What are you doing here if you don't sleep? When did he stand here and heard something? Josu swallowed silently, wanting to say something, but he didn't know what to say. End of this chapter. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 1258. Chapter 1258 Uncle Joe, what do you mean? But Mo Bao's voice said before Josu, Uncle Joe, has something happened to Mom? No, no, really nothing. What can happen to my wife? Nothing happens to my wife. She is very powerful, and there is Mr. Li. Mr. Li is by my wife's side. If anything can happen to my wife, don't worry. So. Mo Bao's expression at this moment is really as serious as he wants. Such a serious expression really made Josu feel a little panicked. Josu even felt the high pressure on this child. When such an idea appeared in Josu's mind, it really shocked Josu. Why do you think this way? Why do you think this way? No matter how powerful the parents of the child in front of you are and how smart this child is, he is still just a child. What can this child have? Now Josu really feels that he is a little crazy. After adjusting his thoughts, a gentle expression appeared on Josu's face again. Master, you are fine. Nothing happened to your mother. You swear? Josu. What is this so-called child? This child is too outrageous. I have never encountered such a rebellious child. Now Josu feels that there is something wrong with his memory. The child in front of him is not under 2 years old, definitely not. Uncle, why don't you swear? Are you lying to children? Uncle, you are really going too far now. How can you lie to a child like me? Don't you know, Uncle, that children like me are the flowers of the motherland? If you lie to me, then you are deceiving the flowers of the motherland, and you are killing the future of the motherland. Josu is really a little crazy now. He knew that the child born to Li Baikan and Sunian must be a genius child. But he really didn't expect that he was so smart. To put it bluntly, he was so smart that he was perverted. He was really perverted. However, of course Josu did not dare to say it directly, but complained silently in his heart. They all talked to this point. What else can Josu do? He is known as the number one person around Li Baikan. If such a situation cannot be handled, and if word really spreads, will the world still be around? Okay, I swear, I swear, I swear, I will definitely. But before he finished speaking, Mo Bao interrupted him. Uncle Joe, you can say that if you lie to me, then you will definitely be single in this life, absolutely single, and can't find a wife. Josu, this child is a bit too smart. Ahem, young master, can you tell me how you know this and who taught you this? Josu said softly. He felt that he had to defend his young master's future. He must deal with the people who are messing with his young master. Just like what Mo Bao said just now, Mo Bao is the flower of the motherland, and he must deal with those who tarnish the flowers of the motherland. But Mo Bao blinked his eyes when he heard this. Uncle Joe, what do you mean by this? Isn't this bad? No, this is not good at all, very bad, this is all bad. My little master, you can't study randomly. If your mother knows that you study this randomly, your mother will definitely be very angry. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 1259. Chapter 1259, Not Going to the Hospital. Uncle Joe, you really don't need to change the subject now. I've heard it all. My mother went to the hospital. Is there something wrong with my mother's health? Why do you hide it from me? When Josu heard this, he suddenly became anxious. No, really not, I really didn't. You heard wrong. Your mother did not go to the hospital. You really heard wrong. Master, you are here every day, don't you know what the wife's body looks like next to her? Bao didn't say anything, just looked at Josu straightly. Josu is really a little anxious now. Ah, why is this kid so smart? If you are so smart, how can you survive if you do this? You won't be able to survive at all, you won't survive at all. Uncle Joe, I still hope you can answer the questions I want to know honestly. After all, Uncle Joe, you should know how smart I am. Even if I say something unpleasant, you don't know how smart I am, you can't beat me. Josu felt that this child despised him. Whoa, Josu really feels that his life has been a bit in vain. It's really a bit of a waste of time. Bao has said this for his own sake. What else Josu could do was just nod. You can't tell my parents in advance. You can check in front of me now. Find out where my mother is now, and take me there directly. Don't mess with me. And Uncle Joe, I think you are still a bit smart. You should know that in this situation, you cannot coax me at all. What else can Josu do? He can only do it honestly and follow Bao's instructions. Originally, Bao thought he would go to the hospital. My heart is on edge. Who knew that Josu would actually bring him to the CBD? Josu's behavior really made Bao very angry. I have already reached this point with my words, why is this guy still deceiving me like this? Uncle Joe, I have to see my mother today. If I can't see my mother today, then you are screwed. And you are not just screwed when you lie to a child like this, but you are still screwed. Kind. When Josu heard this, he couldn't help but smile bitterly in his heart, so he said, my young master, how could I have the courage to lie to you now? It's right here, it's really here, I definitely don't. I will lie to you, even if I have some courage, I will not lie to you, I swear. But Bao still didn't believe it. Humph, I clearly heard the phone call between you and Dad. You can't lie to a kid. I'm not an ordinary kid. I'm very smart, a super smart kid. If you lie to me, then I'll be in my parents' house. My mother loves me very much. If I speak ill of you in front of me. If I speak ill of you, my mother will definitely believe me. Josu was silent for a while when he heard this. Seeing Josu's silence, Bao felt that he had to increase his threat and let Josu know how powerful Bao was. Just when Bao was about to speak, Josu finally spoke again, Master, I admit that your mother was indeed in the hospital a few days ago, but, your mother is not an obedient person, so, appearing here seems a little. End of this chapter. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich John Word. Chapter 1260. Chapter 1260 Operation begins again. But Bao still didn't believe it. I feel like the guy in front of me is lying. Lin Su was looked at with such questioning eyes by a child, and he really didn't know what to say. This feeling. So I can only say helplessly, Master, my master, everything I say is true. If I tell lies, if you really haven't seen my wife, then you want to cause trouble for me. Just look for it directly, and you are so smart, how could I lie to you, and with the way you looked just now, how could I lie to you? If I can coax you and lie to you again, then it won't look like I have a brain. What's the problem? I'm your uncle after all, how could this happen? When Bao heard this, he felt it made sense. But at the same time, I also started to worry about why my mother didn't value my body so much. At the same time, I also felt that my cheap father was really a bit unreliable. He can't even let his mother take a good rest in the hospital. This man is really useless to the extreme, huh? The key point is that it's useless if it's not useful, and it's still hidden from myself. If I let myself be by my mother's side, I will definitely try many ways. My mother must take good care of my body, even if it's just making fun of her. Humph, this dad is really useless. Just when Mo Bao was slandering, Josu's voice rang out, young master, look quickly. That's the wife. The wife is right next to you. Look quickly. Hearing this, Mo Bao put away his thoughts and looked over. Sure enough, I saw my mother. But at this time, I saw my mother looking menacing. Seems to be looking for trouble. Mom, what are you doing? Just when Mo Bao was confused, he saw Huo Linyuan coming out. Huo Linyuan was also surprised when he saw Sun Yan. After all, Sun Yan told him that the poison she administered would definitely kill Sun Yan, so why did Sun Yan appear here and why? Huo Linyuan, are you surprised to see me? You must be thinking, why am I here now? Shouldn't I be lying in bed waiting to die? Sun Yan said directly. Huo Linyuan really thinks Sun Yan is a bit unreliable now, but even if he thinks Sun Yan is unreliable in his heart, and even wants to cause trouble for Sun Yan, he can't show it now. Huo Linyuan then smiled and said, Mrs. Li, how could you think so? We do have a bit of a conflict, but I'm not the kind of hard-hearted person. I definitely don't want to see you feel uncomfortable. Sun Yan sneered, haha, you don't want to see me feel uncomfortable. Don't you really feel guilty for saying this? Huo Linyuan, our two families don't want to deal with each other. Everyone knows this, and I also feel sorry for it obviously, we all want to kill each other, but do you have to be reliable when doing something? Don't use all the dirty tricks. You are not a man after all. You are really a bit unreliable like this. Very shameful. Sun Yan's operation really made Huo Linyuan a little unresponsive. This, Sun Yan felt like he was being scolded. How could Huo Linyuan endure such a situation and immediately said, Sun Yan, you are really a bit like this. You are really not afraid of being laughed at? Don't forget your identity. End of this chapter.